Today, I want to share with you and just talk a little bit about the biggest mental shift that my clients over the last 20 years are able to make that opens up their relationships with their kids, no matter how challenging, no matter how much tension or anxiety or conflict or misunderstanding is happening in the relationship. When you as mom make this mental shift, things in the relationship open up. And I can say this after working with hundreds and hundreds of clients in a one-to-one capacity directly and knowing their kids, as well as through Awaken Motherhood. So oftentimes when you are a mom who does so much for your kids, and all of my clients are like this, my friends are like this, I'm like this, so aware of everything that your kids are going through, so tuned in to how they're doing, how they're feeling, what they're struggling with, and really wanting to make it better. There is a personalization that kind of automatically happens between your kids' behaviors or how your kids are doing or feeling and how you think you're doing. And let me give you a little example. So, and then I'll tell you the mental shift. So the example is, let's say that you've asked your child to do something, to do a task, and they said, yeah, I'll do it. And then they didn't do it, and that time passed, and you gave them another chance, and they didn't do it again. At a certain point, it may feel personal. It may feel like, I don't understand why you don't respect what I'm asking. I do so much, I give so much, and you're not meeting me halfway, or you're not keeping to your agreements, or you're not pulling your weight around here. And I'm not talking about the 2-year-olds out there. I'm not talking about the 3-year-olds out there. Those kids, you have to do the tasks with them. You're training them for life. And you're bringing them up by doing things with them and coaching them as you go. And that's your bonding and your connection time. I'm talking about school-age kids. When your frustration over them not doing what you've asked them to do inevitably happens, it will create disconnect in your relationship. So maybe first for them, this was about something they were struggling to remember or to prioritize or to make themselves do. Now it's about you. And now you are the mean parent. You are the awful mother. You are the person that they pinpoint their anger on and their blame on. And they may tell you they hate you. And they may tell you that this is all your fault, that they're now stressed out. But what's really going on is that you stepped in it by letting it become personal. And so here's the shift. And this is going to help you to remove yourself from those spaces where things become really personal and work on your, what I call, neutrality, which is such a golden egg as a parent. When you learn all about neutrality, which I teach my clients how to hold that, the relationship automatically rises like a cork in water. It just starts to get better and better and float. So the shift is this. Instead of my child is giving me a hard time, or why are you giving me a hard time? It's my kid is having a hard time. And we've covered this in past workshops, and I've given this to you a couple different ways, but today I'm going to talk about it in a little bit of a different way. So if you can make the shift inside of yourself from why are they making this so hard to my kid is struggling, my kid is having a hard time, whether that's big feeling, whether it's pushing back on an instruction you've given, or homework they feel they can't do, or something else. The fact remains, and you can hardly argue with it, that if they are emotionally escalated, they're having a hard time, okay? They're not doing it to you. They're feeling it within themselves. You're making it about you, though, and we do that as parents, and I've done it. I've been there myself. We make it about ourselves when it really isn't about us. Okay, so now we get to the sort of spiritual part of it. The spiritual part of motherhood that I've learned so much about as a mom myself. I can't say that I knew anything or understood anything about this when I was simply a family therapist and working in that capacity. I had expertise in parent coaching then, and I still knew nothing about it. The spiritual piece of this is either I believe that my kids belong to me and it's my job to make them be okay and good in these certain ways. And we put that pressure on ourselves all the time as parents. Or I believe that my child belongs to himself, to herself. I either believe that they kind of belong to me or they belong to whatever created them, whatever you believe that is. God, science, the universe, the egg and the sperm, whatever you believe that is, they created them. They belong to themselves, their journey, or they belong to me. If they belong to me, I have a right to personalize everything. They're here to please me. They're here to make me happy. They're here to learn how to follow my directions perfectly and be a wonderful representation of me out in the world. Be a wonderful reflection of myself to me. This is delusional. You guys get this. I don't mean any of this that I'm talking about. It is a totally harmful view that creates a terrible relationship with your kid. I'm just going to say it like it is. If you can understand, this is not personal, they belong to themselves. Your job is to facilitate, to mirror, to offer support, to coach, to connect them with resources, to teach them about what you know, but also include that that's not the only way and they're going to figure things out for themselves. If you can shepherd them in a way that allows them to come into their own beliefs, ideas, vibration, their own knowing of who they are, then there is no need to ever personalize anything. If I understand that my kid is having a hard time when he's struggling, then it is not about me. It is not something that I even necessarily need to fix. A lot of you high achievers like to fix things. You're good at fixing most things. But some of you have a child that child does not want you to fix something. These kids, and they're particular kind of kids, that do not want your help. It feels like an intrusion. It feels like you have them under a microscope. Feels like you're being nosy and placing too much attention on them and getting in their business, and they won't have it. And it is not your choice. And if they won't have it, and you keep pushing for it, they will decide that they're better off not telling you anything. They won't let you in. And you know what you'll do? You'll become more anxious and you'll want to know more and you'll want to get into their business. And then they're going to push harder to cut you out. And I watch parents make this mistake all the time. And it does get tricky when we're talking about personal safety issues with teenagers who are eloping, with teenagers who are using substances or maybe, and we're not sure. And I am not speaking to those specific decisions today or to those parents in this community. To be clear, I'm not advising you. I'm not giving you therapy. I'm not telling you or giving you parent coaching on how to handle situations where your child is putting themselves at risk or someone else is putting them at risk and you should just stand back and hands off. That's not what I'm saying. Our number one job above all other jobs is to create safety for our kids, to make sure that they're safe. Then they can get to know who they are beyond that. But if they're not safe, they can't anyway. And the same goes for you. So if I can understand that my child isn't being hard to punish me, my child is actually just struggling, that will remind me that this isn't all about me, and I need to take a step back, and I need to see what happens in me when I take a step back. And for some of you, that feels impossible. to step away from your child's emotional struggle or behavioral struggle feels impossible because you don't know what else to do. And it's going to bring up all kinds of your emotional fears, your anxiety, your worries about what's going to happen to them if you don't stay in their business, keep putting attention on them, asking them intrusive questions, whatever it is, and they're pushing you away. That's going to increase your anxiety. And that is not about them. That is about you. That is our piece to clear up, to invest in, to solve, to shift. And going through motherhood can be the perfect place to do that and the perfect catalyst for that. Our kids will show us where we need to heal. Our kids will put up a mirror to reflect our fears, our feelings of where we're out of control, our feelings of not enough. Our kids will show us all of that. And they don't mean to do it. It just naturally happens. It's a bonus. Consider it a free bonus of motherhood. But when it does, you have a choice. You can either push through it, ignoring it, tuning it out, and trying to control them, trying to heal them, trying to solve problems for them, trying to fix their problems for them, and enable the heck out of them, which is not what they need. Or you can take a step back and you can look in the mirror yourself and look at where this is hard for you. And that's the point to reach out for help. That's the point where if this is resonating for you, reach out to me, book a call with me. I'll put the call link below. I offer a free clarity call consultation where I bring a whole structure to it. We look at what parts are you struggling most with, what's going on for your kiddo, what's it bringing up for you, and then what's the outcome that you want. And we get clear on all of that. I'll know if I can help you or not. Now, we'll tell you either way. If not, I can send you somewhere else. But honestly, a lot of parents won't reach out for help. Most won't reach out for help. Most will assume they should be able to figure it out on their own. And if you've been doing that and then feeling guilty that you couldn't figure it out, or you're so focused on your kids and investing in them, you can't even imagine investing in yourself or making space for yourself. And in talking with a friend this week who's just one of the most giving, generous mothers that I've ever known. She pours into her kids and pours and pours and pours into her kids. And when one of her kids is just not having it, and that child is saying, without saying it, I need to figure this out on my own. I need space to do this, and I don't want to let you in on it. It can be really hard to hear as a parent because they're your everything. You're doing everything for them. That's the lens that you do motherhood through. And that is a type of wounding that can create a lot of anxiety for moms, even depression if you stay in it long enough. Definitely irritability, low-key frustration that will absolutely place pressure on your relationship with your child. And that pressure can cause breakage when your kid is like, I don't trust you, and I don't even want to tell you anything, and I'm not going to let you in. And that's what happens in adolescence. If you have that going on for you, I strongly encourage you to consider reaching out for help. Book a call with me. This is exactly what I help parents to solve every day. And I would be happy to have a conversation with you to see if this is, if I can help you. Again, if I can't, I'll send you somewhere else. But oftentimes it's not as complicated as people think. That as someone who really understands kid behavior and the complexity of emotions that go on in parent-child relationships, a lot of these things can be resolved. And it doesn't take a whole lot of analyzing, and it doesn't take giving up the things that make you happy and the things you love, there's a process of rewiring that needs to happen, and attunement, and changing the communication. And with that, there is harmony. There's beautiful harmony. So I want you to tell me below one thing that you got out of this talk. That's your call to action. One thing that you heard or that you're taking away with you. It can also be a question. Put it below. I'm going to put the call link. I want you to book a call with me to get on my calendar to talk about what you're wanting, what are your dreams, where are you stuck, and I'll help you to map out your best plan for getting there in the shortest amount of time. All right, you guys. Say below. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you next time.